Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Pilates to shape up our legs and our arms so that we get this, the skin and the fascia. Sometimes it's not holding it all in. Maybe there's too much to be held in anymore, but it's time because the seasons are changing and it's getting warmer. So let's start with a breathing practice. Bring the hands to the ribs. Inhale and expand the ribs out. Exhale, and actually using your hands and the muscles around the waist, squeeze in. So if your fingers get a little bit closer. So inhale, expand out, make those hands, widen out. Exhale and pull in. We're going to train these muscles around the body, but specifically the abdominal muscles to support a healthy spine. One of the reasons that I've gotten into the fitness practice that I do and I teach is I'm motivated because I don't like to see people in pain. So I've seen a lot of back pain in my day, and I'm told it's the worst thing. So we want to prevent that by creating healthy, educated muscles. Connect to the midline. Now hold that in, release the arms. Now I want you to imagine a big zipper, like a jumpsuit, from about the pubic bone. Pull that zipper up so that all the stuff, all the tissue is pulling in and to the midline, and pull it all the way up, so past your neck, right? All the way up to the top of the crown of your head. And then imagine that the crown of your head's going up higher and higher and higher. So as your crown is going up, your belly is going in more. Boy, that really looks funny when I do that. Let's inhale and circle up. Don't bring the arms up overhead for a moment. Just leave. I gotta get these arms level. Leave them there. Twist the arm bones back and hold. Let's pause for a moment to notice healthy shoulders. What we're going to work on today is shaping up the arms and the legs. But to be able to move the arms and the legs around, the shoulders and the hips have to be stable. So right now we're just practicing opening up the shoulder blade, that girdle area. So hopefully there's a little space there in the front, no compression. And then release the arms down. Let's spin the arms back behind the body. So turn the arms so that the pinkies come together and push the fingers down. Use the pressure of pushing the hands down to lift the chest forward. Now inhale, exhale. Remember the ribs? Inhale the ribs up and out. Exhale, squeeze the ribs in. Remember that zipper. Pulling inward and upward. So our practice today is going to be first stabilize and learn how to use the hip and shoulder joints so that they are, in Pilates words, imprinted and anchored. Those are Pilates words. That meaning he said that. That's all that means. He said those words. That's all it means. It doesn't mean he invented words. Imprinted means you're pushing it into whatever's holding it. In some cases, in most cases, that's the floor. 2 more breaths. Inhale, ribs out. Exhale, ribs in, shoulders back. So we've just done 2 things with the shoulders. So let's look at the shoulder one more time. We've spun the shoulder blades back. So the top edge goes back. Then we pulled the shoulder blades together as we were pressing down and back. Remember that? That's called retracting. There's one more important thing. Depress the shoulder blades. So leave the shoulders, where they are naturally, and then depress them. So imagine like you get a massage, somebody pushes your shoulders down and that feels really good. That's called depressing your shoulders. You ain't kidding, it's depressing. Pull the shoulders down. One more thing I want to make sure though that you're doing. The shoulder blades can wing off of the back. Suction cup, imagine that they're little hands that around the edges, they have muscles. They do. Suction cup those shoulder blades on there so they don't wing out, so they don't curl off. So no wrinkles in your shoulder blades. So let's practice all of that one more time. Inhale up. Not all the way up, remember. Got this one arm, won't go up. Exhale, bring the arms a little bit back behind you. But here's the thing, rotate the arm bones backwards so we make this nice, healthy, open space. I like to remind people that the things I do in the first, let's say, 8 minutes of practice, those are the things you should practice every single day. So even if you just watch the first 8 minutes of my videos, do that, because when people ask me, what should I do for this? What should I do for that? They always ask me. It's always in the first 8 minutes that I tell you, this is what you should be doing. And then take the arms, remember, back behind the body, spin the pinkies in towards each other. This retracts the shoulder blades, and then push the heart forward. Remember, inhale, expand the ribs. What we're doing in this first 8 minutes for today, though, is learning how to stabilize the shoulders. So I just said imprint or anchor. Anchor is exactly what you think it is. You're pushing down into a solid thing that doesn't move. You have to learn those before you learn to move. Just like a baby, I guess, has to be steady before that baby can walk. Another breath, ribs out, ribs in. And then release that. So now practice the depressing thing. Inhale. Exhale, pull the shoulders down. Your voice has to get low when you do that. Inhale, let your shoulders do what they always do. You know, you're walking around. Exhale, pull them down. Let's do 2 or 3 more, because this time I want you to focus on not only bringing the shoulders down, but suction cupping them on to the back. So when my shoulders go down, I don't know if you can see it, you know, the shirt and everything, the tips of my shoulder blades wing a little bit out. Like I can go really far out with my tips of my shoulder blades. So when I go down, I want to keep, like almost like you're keeping the collarbone area open. This is important. So if you ever say, oh, I have these shoulders and I don't know what's going on, and do again what we're first doing this first 8 minutes again and again, because it's training those shoulder muscles to anchor and imprint, to hold the space. Good. I think you've got enough of that. Let's do the same kind of thing with the legs or the hips. So come down to the back. All right, so now you know what ground is. Ground is that thing below you. Levitate one knee. The other leg can do anything that it wants. I don't want you to think that it has to always stretch out long. If you have tight hip flexors, a lot of you do, stretch that leg out long and push that leg into the floor. But if that's too much of a stretch, then leave the knee bent. But either way, whatever's touching the floor pushes into the floor. So kind of go through the math. Let's see, that's my hips, that's my shoulders. Press into the floor. Now this leg up top, swing it right and left. Now don't swing your hips. So remember the zipper? The zipper from the pubic bone all the way up. Not only is that zipper zipping, but the zipper is stabilizing and keeping the body still. So, oh gosh, there's this thing in a sailboat. I forget what it's called. It's a center board that goes down into the water, and it keeps the boat from like listing left and right, side to side. So imagine you have that. You have like a board or something from you into the earth to keep you from listing, tipping side to side. And pull into that board and then anchor down so that all that's moving is this top leg. The other leg's not moving. The shoulders aren't moving. The belly isn't, doing anything. There's no rocking in the head or the neck. Inhale those ribs out. Exhale, scoop. Anchor and imprint. Those are the kind of the words of the day. Anchor and imprint. 2 more. Shoulder blades. What are they doing? Maybe they just knotted up in their usual tense and worried state. And 1. Let's go to the other leg. Wow. 1 knee up, the other leg anchors. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to anchor. And then after you zip up and include everything to the midline, that's when you take the knee left and right out and in. And so more and more. Every movement in Pilates creates the next movement. So it's kind of like if you were correcting somebody who was trying to, they're trying to learn how to write letters, and you were correcting them and say, that's good, but next time make this loop a little loopier or something. So every time you move your leg, say to yourself, well, that's good, but next time stabilize, remember with that anchor board into the floor a little bit more. So every movement is like the education for the next movement. Whatever's touching the floor pushes down into the floor. So that's called anchoring. Inhale the ribs out. Exhale, scoop the belly. Let's do about 3 more. And relax. Woo! I'm going to say soles of the feet together, let the knees fall open. It could be that my inner thighs are still sore from a previous workout, but I don't know, that just feels good. Let the low back rise up off the floor here. You have the soles of the feet together. Let that happen. And think for a moment about neutral spine. There's another phrase that's very important in Pilates, neutral spine. That means that your spine and your hips don't get involved in any arguments with people. I'm kidding. I wish I wouldn't get involved in any of these arguments. So that your hips and your spine are they're in a curve. There's curves going on, but it's the natural curve and nothing is excessive. So the low back, there's a curve there, but it's not so excessive. Your pelvis isn't rocked so far forward that there's compression in the low back. We'll notice this when we get into the kind of the cobra stretches. So neutral spine is that there's a natural curve. Right now it's a little exaggerated, but neutral spine is that there's a curve, but that your muscles are holding a kind of a healthy. Well, hello. I forgot to take his little vest off and he doesn't like it. We went for a walk. All right, when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Now, round the low back the other way. So lift the head and the tailbone up off the floor so that your lumbar spine is curved the other way. So neutral is somewhere in between those two extremes. One is extended all the way back and one is curved like this all the way forward. Any neck, back problems, roll to your side. Otherwise, if you feel pretty safe and confident, roll all the way up. So let's all come up now. Come around to hands and knees. This is such a good day. It's such a good day. Everything is beautiful. Body's feeling good. All right, we're going to add exercise to cat-cow. So cat is when you round. Cow is when you extend. All right, remember the lessons of the shoulders. They were, try to spin the heads of the shoulders open as much as possible. Practice being able to retract, that is pull the shoulder blades together. Practice pulling the shoulder blades out, protract. So your normal, everyday posture is shoulders protracted out, pulled down, remember, depressed, and a healthy kind of pulling in between the shoulder blades. But the most important part is that the top edge of the shoulder blade is out and the shoulder blade's down, out and down, out and down, down and out, I guess. All right, we're going to add on to this. I see you're doing cat-cow, and you're doing so fabulously. I hate to add on. But when you come to cow with me. Bend your elbows and let your chin and chest almost touch the floor. Can you do that? Then push the arms. Keep the shoulder blades wide. Round the back, cat. Turn your toes under. We don't normally do that in cat. And then lift your knees an inch up off the floor. And cats don't do that. Bring the knees safely back down. Move to cow. We're going to leave the toes tucked under this whole time. Bend your elbows. Bring your chin and chest almost to the floor. Push up. Round the back. Feel the scooping action. Lift the knees. Hold. And come down. Cow. Bend the elbows. Hover. Push up. Keep the heads of the arms open and wide. Levitating cat. Come down. All right, if you have like a shoulder thing, oh, Candace, I don't know, this shoulder feels kind of cranky and creaky, then don't do this. Kind of just hold the cat-cow and just keep practicing those first 8 minutes where you are keeping the head of the arm bones, the shoulder blades really spun open. You may not have the full range of motion. That's just how it is right now. Just because I am doing it doesn't mean you should be. Remember that your body has to do its own range of motion. We're talking this week about all the annoying, all the painful, all the unpleasant parts. So if you can hover here, hover, either one. I was thinking the low hover, but you're in the upper hover. Stay there. See if you can hold that. Then push back into child's pose. So flip the feet, Press the hips back, reach the arms forward. So even something as, simple as child's pose with the arms overhead, that may be, here's the big word, contraindicated. I love the medical community. They have words, contraindicated. That means don't do it. Contra, against, indicate, do this, right? Don't do this. So don't stretch your arms up over your head. Now that includes child's pose, and that includes downward dog. We come up and so don't do it. Find another way, do something else, knit a sock or something while we're doing that. And then come back when there's something that you can do. So every time we come into any exercise, you take a breath and you go, ooh. And as if your body goes, ooh, ow, ooh, makes that little, then that means you should stop. Do 2 big breaths, make sure your ribs expand. Make sure your ribs expand. All right, I'm going to say make your way up to standing. I'm going to come through a low lunge. I'm going to step 1 foot forward, hold on, and then I'm going to push back, and then step the other foot forward. You do you. I see some of you doing downward dog. Good. I like downward dog. Downward dog is great if that's what you should do today. Some of you have already come up and you're standing. That's great too. All right. Let me join you up in standing. There was a little crepitus. I don't know if my mic caught that. There was a little crepitus in my knee. My knee just went like that. So come on. Crepitus, there's another fancy word. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's creepy. Your joint has a little cracklies in it. Pilates stance, heels together, back of your calves together, back of your thighs together, tailbone tucked down. So this word, not tucked, I'm not supposed to say tucked, I'm supposed to say dropped down, right? So drop that tailbone down. So you have a handle up front and back, and the handle in the back goes down, the handle front goes up. So never tucked, I'm not supposed to say that, I'm supposed to say never tense, never tucked. I'm supposed to say lengthen the back. Now, remember the zippers? Let's get those zippers. From the pubic bone, squeeze in, squeeze up. Keep collecting, keep pulling. Then imagine the crown of your head going up and up and up and up and up. Not just the front of the head, but the whole crown. Rise. From here, split the toes out, and then lift the heels up and down. All right. With my background, you can see if my legs separate. So, not fair. I have this great lighting and this great contrast between my clothing and the curtain behind me. But think about anchoring, imprinting. I'm going to use those words to mean that you're pushing into what you need to push into. This also applies to life. You have these hard times going on. You lean on what you know you can lean on. So you always need ground. You always need a sense of support. Squeeze those legs together. Here we go. Levitate the heels and hold. Hold there. Get that zipper going. Lift the head up. Here we go. Knees go out and in. And out and in. Okay, today's practice, if you'll remember, we do this arm thing, like you're a dancer. Today's practice, if you'll remember, is Pilates to shape up the legs and the arms. So if your legs need shaping up and you've not done these little plies in a while, add on here. So it's plie and then drop the heels. Lift the heels, plie, come up, heels down. Heels up, plie, come up, heels down. You got it. Heels, knees, and heels. What happened to that zipper? When the teeth of the zipper go all wonky and it's no longer really catching. Oh, thank goodness these Ziploc bags have that little zipper that go on them. When you had to try to line the thing up and you spent 5 minutes and it never really worked. But we're not like this. Our abdominals are under the direct control of our mind. So it's a really good functioning zipper here. Zip the glutes. So I said, whoops, I said those hips have to be stabilized. 2 more times. Integrate everything into the hole and then come down. Take one leg in front, 1 foot in front. Make sure you can see me. And flex the foot back with both knees a little bit bent. Lift this front foot. Lift. Lift. All right, the back leg up through the head is still doing that zipper thing. You're pulling the abs in. What are the shoulders doing? Always, always. Heads of the shoulders splaying out. Don't press down. And a little squeezed in towards each other. That's sort of at the bottom. All right, we're going to pulse up. 3, 2, 1, tap down. 3, 2, 1, tap down. So you're a marionette. But your body is like a pole, like there's no joints. The only joint is this hip here. Lift, 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 and down. Lift, 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 and down. What are the abs doing? You got it. The abs connect all our parts together. So the marionette, we don't have a string out here. So those abs have to be the anchor. The anchor is way back here. Interesting. How about 4 more? Keep that other knee bent. Exhale. 2 and 1. Woo! Did you feel that? I know you did. Can you take the legs out wide and shift right and left? Okay, healthy knees, this is okay. Unhealthy knees. Now, just because my knee did that little crackly thing, that doesn't mean it's unhealthy. That's something that happens from time to time. Like, we have body parts that, oh, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. You know, they just degenerate and they regenerate. That's just part of what we do. Some of my parts just stay getting more and more and more. All right, let's come back up. Let's start with that plie. I want to get the zipper going. Heels, back of the inner thighs, back of the calves. So the back of the legs, almost like, you know, splayed out there. Tailbone down, belly in and up, chest broad, shoulder blades open. Just the releve. I didn't say that before. Releve. Releve. So every time you releve, I believe it's a verb. Every time, yeah, releve or whatever. Every time you releve, string up, string up. So every time you go up, everything scoops and squeezes in and up. Scoop and squeeze in and up. Chest broad, heads of the arm bones splayed out. 4, 3, 2, hold up, hold up, hold up. Just hold, just hold, just hold. Just balance and hold. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings into each other, and then come down. So now other leg, other foot in front. Micro bend both knees. Enliven this leg. Zip up. Spread the shoulders out. Then lift this front leg up and tap down. Lift and tap. All right, imagine for a moment that this foot with the toe on the end is trying to like teach somebody something. So you know how you have like incredible control over your dominant hand and its fingers? I want you to teach that foot to have that much control, that much discipline. Like that if it were to start like drawing the letters of the alphabet, it could, because you have that much control over it. Bend this other knee, zip the abs in, widen the chest and the shoulders, lengthen the sides of the neck. 3 up, 1 down. It's 3, 2, 1, tap. 3, 2, 1, tap. Keep the leg kind of spinning, open. So using inner outer thigh muscles. This is inner outer thigh muscles. Make every muscle, from your abdominals, of course, to the legs, accountable to what it is you're doing. Remember, I said every movement is teaching the next one. Oh, good job. But next time, do it this way. So feel more, learn more. 4, 3, you got this. 2, and 1. Ooh. Let's take 1 foot forward, step the other leg back into like a high lunge. Bring your hands to the hips and extend back a little. So as your hips and your hands are pushing forward, your head, your neck, your chest, your back, is leaning a little bit over your hands, just a little bit. Chin sort of down though, so your head's really sliding straight back, kind of the double chin look. That's what we're doing here. We're not doing the crank the head back. Come up, straighten the front leg to the best of your ability, forward fold over that leg and stretch. All right, we're doing heavy legs today. Last week I think we did arms with the dumbbells. So we did a little arm stuff with that little cat-cow push-up thing, but we're gonna do more legs in a moment. Bend the front knee, take kind of a stretch there, lean a little forward, walk your hands, come up, step the back leg forward, and then the other leg steps back. So we start out in this high lunge, hands on the hips, push the hips forward. Remember, it's like something's pushing. One of the stretches I do, and maybe one of these days I'll drag my couch over to show you, but one of the stretches I do is I lean over the side arm of the couch and let the arm of the couch kind of push into my sacrum. That's a little bit below the lumbar. And let that just stretch open, the front of it stretch open. Remember, we're three-dimensional. We're not like an anatomical chart. Come up, hinge forward, straighten both legs, dive down. Your breath during these stretching segments should be smoother, less vigorous, maybe less rib movement. Inhale, exhale. Make sure these hips aren't like permanently twisted in one direction. Give them a twisteroo. Like your legs are like the bread tie, you know when you twist it, twist the bread tie. Oh, I like bread so much, I just like even thinking about the tie that goes on there. All right, we're gonna make our way all the way first to the low lunge. And then all the way down. Okay, if you have a band, all right, I should have warned you before we got started that if you have a band, now they sell these things, they come in a loop. That would work in this case too. I don't buy those just because they're a little bit less useful, because they only do that. They're just a loop. Where this can be this, or it can be a loop. Watch this magic, everyone. We could take the band, you're not gonna believe this, and put it around, let's say the ankles, and then keep the legs about, hip width apart. What's that? A foot or, a foot and a half. And then get this, you can tie it into a bow. Now, let me warn you before you start knotting everything up that a bow can be untied, a knot a lot harder. All right, so I don't want to be responsible if you make a knot that you can't untie. So a bow, you know what I mean, the two rabbit ears, okay. So now it's between the ankles. Now I've got you. We're gonna come to the side. How is it? Is it okay? Is it on socks, maybe? Socks wouldn't be a bad thing here. Come down. Take the legs a little bit forward, so instead of in line with the body, a little forward. Bend both knees a little, and then just lift up. Okay, check your knot. Is it holding? Good. If not, re-knot. Ooh. So this is a completely stress-less, stretch here. All right, I'll point here. Toe and knee pointing a little down. The back of the hip, the back of the heel pointing a little up. So if anything, you're a little bit diagonally forward. So if anything, lean a little forward and anchor. There's the word of the day, anchor. Anchor, get this, the leg on the floor. Because if you were pulling hard, that leg would come up, right? So anchor, you're pushing that leg down. Soak the belly. Remember the zippers. Pull the zippers. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, roll a bit towards your back. rotate this leg out, and then push the leg across. Remember we were standing just, I don't know, 2 minutes ago? And we were lifting that leg up. Remember I was telling you about, train this leg. So it's going across, like over to that side. So the inner thigh is working. Hey, this is really good for your knees, by the way. Don't pick one of those heavy bands. So don't go use, the car tire. Buy a band that's made for this. 4, 3, we're gonna have to stretch that, aren't we? 2 and 1. But wait, there's more. Give me a second to set this up. We're gonna put this band on the instep of your foot. I don't know if you can see that. It's on like around the middle of my foot, so that when I push back, it's there in that little space there. I'm gonna roll more towards the floor and then kick back. You see that? I'm pushing like a donkey, straight back. Straight back. Anchor the rest of the body. So knee down, heel up. Hey, guess what? If you don't have a band, if you're not liking this, take the band off. You're still getting a really great workout because gravity is still pretty heavy. Pretty heavy, man. Yes. Leave that leg back. It's got to be back and behind you. Now curl and extend. Curl. All right, I see some of you, the band is slipping off your bottom ankle there. Be careful. Keep the leg rising up to keep it taut. Curl and extend. Curl. What are your abs doing, by the way? You got it. They're the anchor. They're the glue. They're the thing that brought us here today, even though we're working on legs and arms today. 4, 3. Oh, we're going to have to stretch those glutes like nothing. And 1. Oh, take the band off for a second. Take this top leg forward. Twist the body. Be a gigantic flipped over starfish. Arms all relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, long breath. Come on up. That's it. No, you're right. We have another leg. What? When did this happen? So we'll go. Put it back on the ankles. The good news is I rarely remember every single exercise, so you're very, very likely to not have to do all those again. Don't even remember the first thing. Come to your side. Anchor. Remember, legs a little bit forward, knees a little bit bent. Make sure the band's not on any hair. And then lift and down. Lift. So just a little bit of pressure. All we're doing in all of our exercises here together is pushing just a little bit into the edge. Remember, I asked you to push into where your support is. So whether that is, home, family, all the things, spirituality, lean on those things. Know where they are first. Ground is first. Ground is first. But then the next thing is you have to be able to push a little bit out to the edge. Hey, remember here the knee and the toe is down? Remember that? Yes, I know you do. When you exhale, remember the belly goes in. Remember the zipper up through the crown of the head. Keep bracing the side waist. So never shortening. Never shorten, right? I'm already short enough, right? Always lengthening the back of the spine, the front of the spine, the sides of the waist, all of those areas. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Give that a rest. Give that a little rub. This is where we roll just a little bit towards our back. So you kind of roll 3/4 of the way towards your back. Take this top leg up, twist it open so that the inner thigh is pointing at the ceiling, and then lift and down. Lift and down. So lift is sort of forward and up, in the direction that your inner thigh would be kicking a soccer ball. Kick and release. Kick. Why I said that this is good for your knees is it's putting some stress and strain on the ligaments, the CLs, the cruciate ligaments of the knees. And that's actually not a bad thing. We want these ligaments to have a little bit of stress and strain so that they adapt and grow. Everything has to adapt and grow. Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna lean a little bit more onto my back here to make sure I'm not hitting the side of my hip again. I only want to get the inner thigh right now. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo, let that down for a second. I bit off just a little bit more than I can chew today. I hope you're okay out there. We'll come back to the side. Oh, this is where we have to put the band into the crook of the foot, onto like the sole of the foot. Can you see that? The sole of the foot. And then lean or roll a bit forward. Remember this? And then we're kicking the heel back. So straight back, donkey kick, straight back. Allow your mind to fuel your work. That you have all these skills and you have all this energy. It's already there. Trust me. It's there. Your mind, though, part of your mind is saying, no, I can't. This hurts. I don't want to do this. I don't, get me out of here. But part of your mind knows that you have these skills. You have this energy. You have the ability. So as long as you have this ability, keep persisting, consistently coming back. 4, how are those glutes? Oh boy. 3, hold that back. Then here's where you curl and extend, curl and extend. So keep the pressure on that hamstring. But we have a lot of stretching to do. I'm going to keep stretching once we get to the stretching, but I understand if you have to, turn off the video and go do something else. I'm going to require that you stretch later, that you don't just give up. But we have some serious stretching to do after this. 4, don't let the belly hang out. 2, pull it in. And 1, take the band off, this time for good. So if you fling it all the way across the room, I understand. Take the leg across, maybe push it down. Twist the chest open and stretch like a big starfish that's been flipped. Let's do 3. Long, deep, expansive breaths. All right, when you're ready now, roll to your belly. Wow. I'm going to flip just so I'm closer to my microphone. You be where you need to be. Come up into Sphinx pose, for those of you who know the difference, or on the forearms. Here's a really good way to practice that shoulder blade spread. That top edge widens, so your arms are sort of squeezing. So for example, if you had a block, you'd put that block between your forearms and actually squeeze. That would make the lever so that the forearms are going in, but the top edge is going out. All right, forget all that if that wasn't an important lesson for you. And now focus on lengthening the spine. So remember those zippers? Zipper up the back. So the tissue and the flesh and the stuff, connective tissue down in the lumbar, is now rising up. When it gets to your neck, spread the back of the shoulder blades out too. The back top of the shoulder blades is what I meant. There's the front of the top and then there's the back of the top. There's actually two ridges there. Inhale, exhale, ribs out. One more time, ribs out. And release. All right, I'd like you to make your way onto your back, respecting your neck and your shoulders and anything else that you might find in the way. Cross the ankle, come into a glute stretch. All right, this is where I need to warn you. When you grab this knee and you start pulling, you're going to find something you wasn't there before. There's going to be a sensation on the side of the hip. I don't normally work the side of the hips that much, so this is going to be a new experience for some of you. Pull, but gently respect that sensation. That sensation is just a fascia. The fascia deciding, hey, we need a little bit more tension, we need a little bit more support here. So maybe use your hand and rub that area, a side pocket area. Inhale. Exhale. We worked today. I just want to congratulate you and want to include all of these good observations and kudos to you that we worked the arms and those little push-up-y things. We worked those legs in the plies and the releves and the inner thigh lifts. Okay, so now when you're ready, after rocking left and right, switch your legs, other leg on top. This is where I need to warn you. Well, didn't we already take care of it? No, we didn't. So pull, ease into the stretch. No stress, stretch. Now let your breath become refreshing. You know, and we're not doing any more exercise. Nothing but Shavasana is coming your way. So refresh the tissues of the bodies. One body, many tissues, sorry. Refresh the tissues and the cells, she was going to say, of the body. Manipulate this lower leg, maybe pulling it in more or rocking a little over to change and feel more. Not intensity, but more tissues involved in that stretch. Remember, we were rubbing the side hip. Maybe knuckles up and down the side leg. Then grab the leg and rock a little left and right, side to side. Bring the soles of the feet together. Give them a little pull. And then make your way all the way out into Shavasana. So any leftover lingering stretches, a twist right or left. And then come all the way down to Shavasana. Inhale. Let it go. This time, inhale. Move the edges out a little bit bigger. So inhale big. When you exhale, nothing but letting go. Begin to make your way onto your side. Open your eyes and push all the way up. Come up into a seated pose. Cross those legs any other way that you're not used to. Rock side to side. Roll the shoulders. Pull the shoulders back and down. Just a breath and that's it. Inhale. Exhale, wrap the arms around. I bow and I honor you. Thank you for working out with me today.